Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be reading part 5 of our book that we've been reading for the past week. I do want to let you guys know something real quick. I am leaving for a beach trip tomorrow. So I'm not gonna be posting for like 2 days, maybe 3 days. So yeah. Because I'm going to the beach for 2 days, and then I'm leaving June 1st, and I'm coming back the 2nd, and then the 3rd, I think I'm gonna just unpack everything, but I'll maybe make a video June 3rd. Depends on how I feel. So yeah, I have music right here on my little iPad. And yeah, let's just get straight into reading chapter 5. Okay. Walk like that on the front line, and we won't have an army left. Sajid's voice vibrates in the air, sharpening our senses like the assortment of blades waiting for us. Line up. We hurry into groups of 4. We've been put in ahead of our graduation. I take my place at the front of Sahih's left, while Mira and Dana position themselves on Sahih's right, and the rest of us form their rows behind us. Unlike our dance classes, Sajid prefers to conduct our combat training outside to replicate the conditions we will one day fight in, often reminding us that the sun is also our enemy, as her heat will tire us as much as the physical fight we're engaged in. He strolls into position. Tahir joins him, along the guard who accompanies us to the village yesterday morning. Hania, Ijaz, and Camille. Sajid's face is stern as he steps forward, light stubble shadowing his jawline. Today you will work in pairs and demonstrate what you have learned over the last year. I have chosen a new opponent for each of you, he says, his eyes narrow at me. Asir and Mira will go first. Don't kill each other. He waves his hand, indicating for the 2 of us to collect our swords. Mira smiles smugly as she runs her finger along the curved silver blade. Gone are the days when we would practice with wooden weapons. A few bruises were only the threat. Tahir gives me a knowing look as I take my place inside the large circle the rest of the dancers have formed. While they sit on the grass, Mira and I face Sajid, who stands outside the circle. Our swords are positioned on the right-hand side of our bodies and pointing down, our shoulders back and eyes and chin up. This training is about precision, much like in a dance rehearsal, except there are the wrong step that could mean lasting injury. I reflexively touch my left side where the scar still sits, a reminder of when I was new to the sanctuary and stumbled across a combat equipment. I'd seen the older girl practicing, but when I tried to replicate her moves, I quickly regretted it. Combat is one part of our training where magic is prohibited. Instead, we trained the way soldiers without magic are, the way Sajid and Tahir were when they joined the army. Sajid calls out a string of commands, and Mira and I respond with a bow to him, then each other before performing the sanctuary's customary sequence in unison. We cut the air with our blades and swing them down to our left side, back up to the right, and round in a circle, finishing with the tips pointed at each other. Begin, Sajid says coolly, as the light breeze that whispers through the gardens. Mira doesn't hesitate. Her blade slashes upward, and mine meets hers in an X. Then we lunge forward. I react, stepping back with my weight forward on the attack. I have to give Mira credit. She's always been strong with a blade, but there's a new menace in her today, as her lips curl into a snarl. Sajid instructs us over the harsh ring of metal and the bells dangling at our feet. I swerve away from another one of Mira's swings, catching her blade as she almost nicks my plait. I carve my blade upward, forcing her into a back bend, and our blades meet again. Attention! We stop abruptly and turn to face Sajid. both of us trying to disguise our efforts with controlled breaths. Sweat gathers along my hairline and my kurta clings damply to my back. I realize then how quiet the gardens are as the guards stationed throughout them look our way. If any of you have any hopes of becoming a warrior in Amar's army, then you need to start fighting like you actually want to save your skin. Sajid steps into the circle, his fists tense. You're fighting as if you know you're going to walk out of this class alive, like your magic can save you. He glowers at me, and I hear the words behind his stare. Your mother's magic destroyed her, and will do the same to you. What if you come across a silencer, someone who can stamp out your magic with one word? What will save you then? A silencer? Surely that magic doesn't exist. He's just trying to saying it to unsettle us. The same thought rolls over the rest of the dancers, but he quietens their murmurs. You should have come to these sessions as though you've been stripped of your magic, as though all you have to protect yourself is a blade and your instinct. When you're in the midst of battle, you don't get to stop fighting because someone tells you it's time to break. When you go out there and fight, he points past a wall that encloses us. You don't know if those breaths you're taking are going to be your last. You have to fight like your life depends on it. You must keep fighting because the moment you let your guard down, you're dead. As though he emphasizes his words, a breeze picks up and sand rolls in front of the desert. Whoa. What am I saying? Sand rolls. Sorry about that. My mom came in and thought it was a good time to start lighting candles. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And sand rolls in front of the desert, performing an unusual swirl through the gardens and around us. Sajid is momentarily distracted, and when he looks back at us, something like confusion mixed with apprehension clouds his features. It's not just the misery soldiers you need to be afraid of, he says, his voice sombre. He clears his throat, and his furrowed brows is quickly replaced with what we're more used to, irritation. You may have trained together since childhood, but Amar's army has harbored traitors in the past. Don't be fooled. The magic you fight could be someone you thought was one of your own. He steps back out of the circle, but when he faces us again, his stare is for me alone. Sometimes betrayal runs in the blood. Mira mumbles inaudibly under her breath, and I notice Dana and a couple of other dancers shift uncomfortably where they sit. But I won't be intimidated. I hold his stare until eventually he breaks it. You may think your magic is enough to protect Amar, Sajid says, but you must find a union with your blade as well if you are going to survive. Battles aren't choreographed. Dancing will only get you so far in war. He lets his words sink in. You two will fight again, but this time like you're fighting to survive, for your right to live. I face Mira. If I thought there was a fierceness in her before, there's something new in her now. Ever ambitious. I know she won't disappoint in giving Sajid what he asked for. We go through the usual formalities at Sajid's command. My hand is clammy as I grip the hilt of my blade, and every ridge is imprinted into my palm. Fight. Mira twisted her blade through the air with renewed energy, and I'm immediately on the back foot. I catch her attack with my own blade, and respond with the moves of a dancer despite Sajid's instructions. I crouch beneath her blows, then jump when she swipes low, and turn swiftly out of her way as she aims for my body. The gardens are silent, but for the sound of our swords clashing against each other, punctuated by our panting as we draw one more strength and pushing against the tiredness in our muscles. Our minds are in control of our bodies. That's what Mistress Zania always tells us. If we allowed ourselves to stop dancing every time our body told us it hurt and needed a break, we'd never make it through a whole routine. Both Mira and I breathe Mistress's words now, her eyes as piercing as her blade. I clasp my hilt with both hands as she blows harder hit. As her blow Huh? Can I read? As her blows hit harder. Oh my goodness, I'm like having a stroke today. I don't know what's going on. Our blades crash and scrape against each other, an awful sound that rings my ears. My heartbeat becomes my song, fast and thudding in my chest. I move in time with it. I arc my blade up as Mira pulls hers away. She shields herself by bringing her blade to her right in anticipation of my next jab. But I surprise her, spinning my blade in one hand and aiming for her left side. I catch her forearm and Mira recoils. She hisses through her teeth in pain, dropping her blade to clasp in her hand over the wound that starts to bleed. I can't believe you did that. In truth, neither can I. Sajid grunts. None of the theatrics. It's only a flesh wound. Ijaz and Mira Ijaz take Mira to see the healers. You, he points at me, sit down. I pick up Mira's blade and return both to Camille. Mira glances over her shoulder as Ijaz guides her inside the school through one of the side entrances. I try to make out what she says, but I can't read her lips. Something complimentary, I'm sure. Farah and Yasmin, you're next, Sajid commands. I take Farah's place in the circle and sit next to Donna, who nudges my arm and smiles encouragingly. We sit like that for the next hour. The wait was grueling as our training in the heat of the mid-morning sun. As we watch each pair fight under Sajid's instructions, inevitably more of the girls get injured with scrapes to hands, arms and legs. But nothing that can't be treated by the sanctuary's healers. Agitation flickers across Sajid's face when the call for the end of class comes at last. Clean yourselves up. I'll see you again tomorrow morning where you fight with only your body, he says, dismissing us. Last to have been partnered up, Donna now hovers by Hania as she returns her sword to the rack. I notice the way their hands brush against each other as she passes it to the guard. When she joins Sahi and me, her face is flushed but not from the class. Subtle, I whisper. Donna flutters her eyelashes in innocence. Hanya's going to see if she can get an early transfer into the army when us lot graduate. What? Okay, whatever. She says with a lilt of giddiness, and I can't help but smile. I know it's unlikely and even worse so that we'll be sent to the same base, but it's worth a try, isn't it? Of course, he says, then checks that none of the other girls are listening. Just don't ruin it for yourself by getting caught. Donna rolls her eyes, but excitement still plays over her face. I know the rules. No relationships between students and guards, students and teachers. She reels them off. And strictly no relationships within the army. The back of my neck prickles at that one, the hairs on my arms rising. Yet another reason my mother was deemed a traitor, because she had a relationship while she was an army general, and I was the result. Basically, no relationships. Sahi and I say in Yuzhan. But where's the fun in that? Donna says, and we all laugh. And where's the fun in not using swords during combat training? At least we won't have to worry about the possibility of losing an ear tomorrow, Sahi says, as we make our way inside and are welcomed by a cool embrace. The image of Mira baring her teeth flashes through my mind. I wouldn't speak too soon, I say, and touch the right of my ear, shivering at the sensation of an imaginary bite. My gosh, it's like Nobody knows how to knock anymore in this house. Now I have to be quiet because my brother's freaking here. No, it's whatever. So that's chapter 6. We just finished chapter 5. Yeah. That was very, very, like, fighting. A lot of fighting going on. But yeah, as I said before, I won't be posting for 2 days because of my beach trip. And yeah, that's all I really have to say for right now. I will teach you guys more later. So yeah, bye guys. Have a good afternoon, night, or morning, wherever you are. Bye guys.